dot 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 dot.
Hello creatives! So, my shirt kind of gives it away.
And the video title?
Yes, and the video title. But I'll tell you anyways. I'm trying dot art for the very first time. And there's a catch. I'm not going to be using any fancy tools. Yes, you heard that right. I don't have any of those fancy dot art tools, so I'm just going to be using things from around my house. Not this, not this, not this, not this. I'll just show you. And because I'm very excited for this video, let's skip the intro and head straight to the setup. Okay, so for this artwork, you'll need acrylic paints, some round-headed tools, and a surface to paint on. Simple, right? I've got this circular wooden plate, but you can use a canvas, paper, an MDF panel, even cardboard or any other medium that you prefer. And to find the right tools, I literally walked around my house with my eyes wide open. So here's what I found. Chopsticks, a wooden skewer, a straw, and a small paintbrush. But you can use an unsharpened pencil, an earbud, a pen, or even a screwdriver. I'm also using the Seagull Blue and Warm Yellow acrylic paints because I think this color combination would look so cute. These colors complement each other well. Plus, I'm loving the Seagull Blue paint at the moment because I've used it in my henna art video as well. And lastly, I've got black and white acrylic paints. So, let's get to it. To start with, I've painted the plate black so that the colors really stand out. I'm going to turn this into a beautiful, colorful plate. Now, using a ruler and a compass, no, not this compass, I'm dividing my plate into sections and creating circles at a distance as guidelines so that it makes it easier to follow through with the pattern, and that's what will give this artwork symmetry. And because I really am doing this dot art style for the very first time, I didn't want to start painting straight on the plate. So here, I'm doing a test on a piece of paper, just until I feel a little confident about putting actual dots on the plate and making any sort of pattern. Oh, and talking about the pattern, I do have a design in mind. So, as a person, I try to really focus on positivity, balance, and harmony in life. I also try to look for the good in the bad, and sometimes the bad in the good. It's mostly just who I am and what matters to me. And keeping that in mind, I wanted to paint a design that resonated with me personally. And that design is a yin and yang. In ancient Chinese philosophy, this symbol represents opposite forces in the natural world and how they interrelate to each other and influence everything in the universe, which is exactly why I decided to use complementary colors for this artwork, because it will sort of create a balance. And oh my god, as I'm actually doing this, I'm so nervous. I'm a little worried that at some point I will make a mistake and it will just mess everything up. But I guess there is some room for mistakes here because I am trying this technique for the very first time and without using proper tools. Around the big white dots, I'm using the skewer to create smaller dots to shape a flower. To be honest, I am winging it. I know that I want the design to look like a yin and yang, but I'm not really sure what sort of elements I want to add in yet. So, I'm marking the middle of each side with a white dot. I think that adding white will make this piece a little more interesting and appealing, but let's see how I go. Now, in the middle of each section, I'm adding 3 colored dots using the pencil, and then adding small, teeny tiny dots around it using the tip of a skewer.
Small, teeny tiny dots, teeny tiny dots, teeny tiny dots.
And it's giving such a great effect, like almost a magical or a fairy dust sort of effect. And because of the variety in dot sizes, it visually looks appealing, and it does add a sense of delicacy to the design. I'm loving how it's looking so far. I'm actually so relieved. Next up, I'm going to paint some petals. So basically, I'm adding 6 dots right above the white dot, and using a little less pressure, I'm adding smaller dots around the sides. And they're getting tinier as they come around to the side. This is actually looking so good, and I'm loving the effect, seriously. You probably can't see the whole yin and yang design at the moment, but it will start to show up soon. And to make it quite distinctive, I'm also making the yin and yang divider by painting small white dots using the end of a skewer. Moving on, I'm also adding bigger colored dots using the pencil to create the outline of the whole plate. Now, to finish off, I'm mostly just switching up between the pencil and the wooden skewer to create different sized dots. I'm filling up the space with dots in curved lines, and to make it stand out, I'm also adding white dots in between each layer. And that's what making this artwork more intriguing. And the final step is to carefully erase all the pencil lines once the plate is fully dry. Otherwise, it is quite obvious that the paint will smudge and ruin the whole artwork, plus the 5 hours I spent on it, and we don't want that. So I'm gently erasing all the pencil marks I see in between the dots. Guys, do you love this as much as I do? Look at it. It's so pretty. It's so beautiful, and I'm so happy that I tried this new art form. I was a little hesitant at first because I wasn't sure if using random household materials would actually work, but it worked like a charm. So, thinking about it, you don't really need any fancy art supplies or materials to create art, which is great because I'll come back next time with another one of my random ideas. Please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to stay tuned. I'll see you next time. Bye!